Good morning, everyone. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Let us begin our assembly with a gesture of respect and unity for this beloved nation. To commence the ceremony, I now invite our respected Principal Sir to hoist the UAE national flag, a symbol of our unity, pride, and unwavering commitment to our country. I request everyone to stand proud as we honor the United Arab Emirates by singing the UAE national anthem.
عيشي بلادي عاش اتحاد إماراتنا عشتي لشعب دينه الإسلام هديه القرآن حصنتك بسم الله يا وطن بلادي 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 حماك الإله شرور الزمان أقسمنا أن نفدينا من نخلصنا ما عشنا نخلص دام الأمان وعاش العلم يا إماراتنا رمز العروبة كلنا نفديك بالدماء نرويك نفديك بالأرواح يا وطن.
To set the tone for our gathering, let us find tranquility and guidance in a few verses from the Holy Quran by Aisha Raji of 12a.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا يسخر قوم من قوم عسى أن يكونوا خيرا منهم ولا نساء من نساء عسى أن يكن خيرا منهن ولا تلمزوا أنفسكم ولا تنابزوا بالألقاب بئس الاسم الفسوق بعد الإيمان ومن لم يتب فأولئك هم الظالمون صدق الله العظيم. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. O believers, do not let some men ridicule others. Perhaps they may be better than them. Nor let some women ridicule other women. Perhaps they may be better than them. Do not defame one another, nor call each other by offensive nicknames. How evil is it to act rebelliously after having faith? And whosoever does not repent, it is they who are the true wrongdoers. Holy true are the words of Allah.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, welcome to TEDx ADIS MUROOR Youth for the session 2025-26. Today, we embark on an extraordinary journey under the theme, Unfiltered, Raw Growth and Real Stories. In a world that often celebrates polished exteriors and curated narratives, our theme calls us to embrace the beauty of imperfection, the power of vulnerability, and the strength found in authenticity. What happens when we dare to shed filters and shed the raw, unvarnished truths of our experiences? How do these stories, unfiltered and unrefined, help us grow, connect, and reshape the world around us? Throughout today's event, we will explore these questions through the art of storytelling. Our speakers, representing diverse journeys and perspectives, will invite us into their world. A world where growth is often messy, where lessons emerge from challenges and where most profound transformations occur in the spaces between perfection and imperfection. Now, I request our beloved Principal Sir to present a green gift to our external speakers as a token of gratitude, respect, and appreciation. Firstly, we have Sahana Praveen. Please give a huge round of applause. Next, we have Kezia Liz. Now, we have Deek Parashini, Shadia Siddiqui, and lastly, we have Daygrace Kabali. I request the audience to give a huge round of applause for our speakers.
Let us now turn our attention to the screen for an official video introduction by Chris Anderson, the head of TED. This video will provide insights into the TED universe, highlighting the remarkable journey of TED and TEDx in sharing ideas that truly matter.
Welcome to something special. Welcome to TEDx. This TEDx event is part of a global conversation that takes place every day in every corner of the world. In schools, in theaters, in workplaces, even in prisons, people gather to hear the best ideas bubbling up in their communities. More than 3,000 TEDx events are held every year in 170 countries. It's a remarkable thing. TEDx events are self-organized under a license from TED, a non-profit organization devoted to discovering and sharing powerful ideas in the form of TED Talks. It's not TED itself, but your local TEDx team of volunteers that has done all the work to put on today's event, including booking all of the speakers. It's this team's ideas, dedication, and time that have made this possible. We really hope today's program sparks an exciting conversation. This is a day for curiosity and for skepticism, for inspiration and for action. The more you enter into it, the more you will take out. And now, on with the show.
At TEDx ADIS MUROOR Youth, we celebrate the stories that shape us, the raw, unfiltered moments that reveal who we truly are. Today, you are not just an audience, you are an essential part of this shared exploration. Let this moment inspire you to embrace your own unfiltered growth, to see the beauty in real stories, and to discover the strength that lies in your truth.
Together, let us immerse ourselves in a day filled with inspiration, connection, and transformation. As we delve into unfiltered, raw growth and real stories, may we find courage to vulnerability, wisdom in imperfection, and community in our shared humility. Thank you for joining us on this remarkable journey. The stage is set, and the spotlight belongs to the stories that matter the most, raw, unfiltered, and undeniably real.
Sahana Praveen Bandari is a distinguished alumni of Abu Dhabi Indian School, where her tenure as head girl and recognition as Student of the Year marked the early emergence of her leadership potential. She went on to earn her engineering degree from the prestigious NITK Surathkal, once again graduating with the Student of the Year honor, a testament to her consistent excellence. Today, she brings that same drive to her role as a risk advisor, where she merges sharp analytical acumen with a deep-seated desire to create meaningful impact. A passionate youth advocate, Sahana has raised her voice on global stages, ranking 4th among 500 delegates at the Global Young Leaders Conference in US and receiving accolades such as the Sheikh Hamdan Excellence Award and ADNOC's Outstanding Intellectual Award. Now, returning to the very stage where her leadership journey first began, Sahana hopes to spark the same fire in others, to dream boldly, rise bravely, and turn every stumble into a step forward. Please welcome back to her alma mater, Sahana Praveen.
Loud and clear, uninterrupted. Have you ever avoided trying something new just because you're afraid you would fail? You're not alone. I know that fear very well. For most of my life, I only did things I was sure I would be the best at. As a kid, I got used to the applause. I aced my exams, I won competitions, my teachers praised me like I was a prodigy. So somewhere along the way, I started to believe, if I try something, I have to be the best at it. Because anything less than perfect felt like failure. One day in 4th standard, my teacher picked 6 of us to race, and my name was called. My heart swelled with pride. I walked to the starting line with the confidence of a future gold medalist. Had I ever run before? No. But did I believe I would be amazing at it? Absolutely. After all, I was used to excelling. The whistle blew. I sprinted forward, heart pounding, but my legs felt heavy. My classmates zoomed ahead like it was nothing. For them, it was a race. For me, it felt like a marathon. I finished 5th out of 6. The 6th kid had a sprained ankle. In that moment, I knew my future was not in the Olympics. Nobody laughed. No one even noticed. But in my head, I had failed. And if I had failed, that meant I wasn't as special as I thought. So I made an unspoken deal with myself to only do things I know I would be the best at. But running was not the only skill I abandoned to, because the fear of failure didn't just stop my legs, it started shaping my choices. One of the earliest moments that challenged that fear was right here in this school, when I set my heart on becoming head girl. Now that dream didn't start in grade 12. I was in kindergarten when I first saw her, a senior whose photos and achievements were all over the school magazine. She was a national level athlete, a brilliant speaker, a true leader. I didn't know her name, but I wanted to be like her. I found out she was the head girl, and from then on, I wanted to become head girl. Year after year, as I watched the investiture ceremonies, I would imagine my name being announced as head girl, being pinned with the badge, carrying the school flag. It became more than just a title to me. It became a dream, a mission. So in grade 11, I applied for assistant head girl. This was it, the moment I had been waiting for. I had imagined this so many times. I stood in this very auditorium, excited but nervous. My heart was pounding, my palms were shivering and sweating all over. One by one, they started announcing the names. All the other positions filled up. Then I heard, assistant head girl. It wasn't my name. I clapped, I smiled, I pretended everything was fine, while I watched my dream of years slip away. That moment didn't feel like a setback. It felt like a verdict. I wasn't enough. In that moment of self-doubt, one of my teachers told me something that stayed with me forever. She told me, you know this isn't a dead end. The secret in life isn't being perfect. It is participating. You don't have to get it right every time. You just have to keep showing up, keep learning, and keep failing forward. Because every failure takes you one step closer towards success. Fail forward. Those words lit a spark and everything changed. Because for the first time I realized failure was not a dead end. It was only a stepping stone to success. So I made a decision. I decided to fail forward. But that didn't make things easier. There were days I doubted myself. There were days I wondered if I was even capable enough. But I showed up. I forced myself out of my comfort zone. I tried things I was sure I would fail at. I played kho-kho, I joined the drama club. I was failing, but even when I was failing, I was learning, I was growing, and I was becoming better. Then, in grade 12, I applied again for head girl. I stood in the same auditorium, but this time I was a little less worried about the outcome because I knew, regardless of the result, my year was going to be filled with learning. They started the announcements. One by one, the other positions filled up. I smiled, I clapped. My heart was racing, my hands were cold, and then I heard, head girl, Sahana Praveen Bhandari. For a moment, everything stopped. In that moment, I didn't feel perfect. I felt proud. Not just because I was chosen, but because I kept choosing to try again. That badge didn't just make my dreams come true. It proved to me that failure was not a dead end. It was only the beginning. In the words of His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, we all begin life as a single cell. How fast you go, how far you get, lies in your hands. Will you stumble on the way? Perhaps. But we cannot let fear keep us small. We have to be brave to be big. So I kept being brave, I kept showing up, I kept learning, and I kept failing forward. A year later, I found myself at a different kind of starting line. My first year of college, my very first meeting of the public speaking club. Now, I had been doing public speaking since kindergarten. So I walked in with a smile and a secret thought. I'm a natural speaker. This is going to be a breeze. I was sure I would impress everyone. But instead, I was the one impressed and intimidated. I heard the other speakers. They weren't just good, they were exceptional. They spoke with a calm maturity. They painted stories so vividly, you could see them unfold. And they handled impromptu topics like they had been practicing for weeks. And just like that, doubt crept in. What if I wasn't good enough? What if I failed at the one thing I thought I was perfect at? But I raised my hand. I walked to the stage, I looked at the audience. But as I started speaking, I felt nervous. My words didn't come out the way I had practiced them. I stumbled and I lost my train of thoughts. It wasn't a disaster, but it wasn't my best. I sat down embarrassed and disappointed. My brain screamed, "You don't belong here, you should quit." That used to be the moment I used to walk away. But this time, I didn't. I had learned to fail forward. So I stayed. I gave another speech, and then another. Some speeches were amazing. Some made me want to hide behind the lectern. But I kept showing up. I kept learning, and I kept failing forward. Over time, I didn't just become a better speaker. I became someone who wasn't afraid to be seen trying. Just as I thought that I had made my peace with failure, life reminded me of something I had given up too soon. At 22, I decided to run again. This time, not from my problems, but actually run. Every fiber of my being screamed, "Don't do it." But something inside whispered, "Just show up, fail forward." So I laced my shoes and stepped outside. Sometimes life brings you back to the same starting line just to show you how far you've come. That first run, it was painful. I was panting, my legs felt like brick, I wanted to stop. But I showed up the next day, and the day after that. 6 months later, I ran my first 5K. Not because I was the fastest, not because I was the strongest, but because I refused to quit, because I learned to fall and rise, because I kept failing forward. John Maxwell once said, "Fail early, fail often, but always fail forward." Now I understand exactly what he meant. Back in 11th grade, the Same year that I didn't get chosen as assistant head girl, ADIS hosted its very first TEDx event. I wanted to be a speaker. I didn't get selected. I wasn't even considered. So for the second time that year, I sat in the audience watching this red dot, wondering what it would feel like to stand here one day. Back then, it was another rejection, another reminder that I wasn't enough. But today is different. Today, I'm standing here on the same red dot, sharing my story. As they say, if you wish for something with all your heart, the entire universe conspires to help you achieve it. These few meters have taken me the longest to walk. It took me 7 years, lots of effort, countless moments of self-doubt, and the courage to keep failing forward. I'm not here today because I was always chosen. I'm here today because I kept choosing to try again. I kept failing, but I always kept failing forward. So I ask you today, what is that one thing you are avoiding because you are afraid you will fail? A speech, a project, a dream? Whatever it is, just show up. Fail forward. Because success does not belong to the strongest or the smartest. It belongs to the one who refuses to quit. One day, you will look back at all the miles you've run, the speeches you've given, the challenges you've overcome, and realize success was never about talent. It was always about failing forward. Today, I leave you all with the question, what kind of a person do you want to be? Will fear write your story, or will you fail forward? Over to you.
Thank you, Sahana, for that powerful and heartfelt talk. Your journey reminds us all that excellence is a habit, not an act. Akash is a young man who approaches life with a curious mind and an exceptional array of talents. Don't let his 15 years or his extra tall stature fool you. When he's not outmaneuvering opponents on the chessboard, dominating the badminton court, or losing himself on the rhythm of the piano and the drums, Akash is often found honing his speaking skills, captivating audiences with his distinct perspective. This multifaceted individual isn't just participating in the world. He's dissecting it, understanding it from a unique vantage point that many overlook. So now, without further ado, please join me in welcoming a remarkable young man who proves that greatness isn't defined by age or height, but by heart, vision, and purpose. We have Akash Balasubramanian.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Very warm morning to one and all present here. I'm Akash Balasubramanian, 15 years of age, and as you can see, I'm very tall. Isn't that right? I'm very tall. Now take a look around yourselves. You see a variety of heights, right? Some towering, some Kevin Hart's, well, like me, right? Let's just say I'm more closer to the ground than most of y'all over here. And for a good chunk of my life, that simple fact came with a soundtrack. Small, minuscule, tiny, chipmunk, dwarf, get a ladder to reach up here, etc., etc. And that really hurt. For a while, those words stung. They made me feel less visible, less capable, less efficient, less everything, to be honest. I'd find myself just slouching, trying to just disappear into the background. Oh, but shopping was extremely easy at the kids section, and don't even get me started on trying to see at concerts, family gatherings, functions, etc. But somewhere along the way, I started to realize something. Those words and those labels, they weren't me. They were just bare minimum words. And words, as powerful as they can be, don't define us unless we let them define us. I repeat, words don't define us unless we let them define us. So how did I start to overcome it? It wasn't some overnight transformation, as you can see. It was a series of small shifts in perspective, little acts of rebellion against the Chota Bacha title. Firstly, I started to own it. Instead of shrinking away, I'd make a joke about me being 6'4" and 3 centimeters to be precise. I learned to laugh with people, and when I say this, I really mean it. This laughter is what diffused the negativity around. It was like diffusing a bomb. The power of your words diminished when I wasn't afraid of it. Secondly, I focused on things that I could control. My height, obviously not. But what about my skills, passions, and personality? Well, of course. I threw myself into things that I loved doing. Say, for example, playing badminton, playing chess, playing the piano, playing drums, talking, speaking, communicating, conversating, chatting, talking again, etc., etc. Suddenly, my height wasn't the first thing people noticed. They saw me for my enthusiasm, my dedication, and my brain power. And this is what I mean by the change in perspective. That's the key, isn't it? We all have things that make us feel less in some way. Maybe it's height, maybe it's something completely different, but letting that one perceived flaw overshadow everything else is like staring at a single blurry pixel on a giant beautiful canvas, isn't it? Speaking of which, I'd like to share this one beautiful quote from one of my favorite Hindi movies, The Three Idiots. It goes something like this. Kabil bano, कामयाबी तो झक मार के पीछे भागेगी. Now what this literally translates to is that become capable and success will chase after you, kicking and screaming. Think about it. This movie isn't about any physical attribute. It's about focusing on your abilities, your talents, and your growth. And by growth, I mean mental growth and not physically. When we channel our energy into doing things that we are most passionate about, into doing things that we are most skilled in, you see those external attributes like small and minuscule in my case, they just fade away into the background. Our capabilities shine so bright that our physical stature becomes irrelevant at that point. What I learned is that our value isn't measured in any external metric or any inch system. It's measured in our resilience, our kindness, our passions, and the unique way in which we tend to see the world today. Maybe being closer to the ground gives me a different perspective. Maybe I notice the little things that others miss. Maybe I am a better listener because I've had to work a little harder to be heard. Who knows? So if you're out there and someone is just trying to box you in with a label, I want you all to remember this one thing. Whatever it may be, their words are just bare, minimum, valueless, useless words. And by words, I literally only mean letters and syllables. Your story is much more bigger and better than what you think or assume it to be. So I want you all to own your narrative, focus on your strengths, and never ever let anyone else define your true self-worth. Because at the end of the day, the only height that truly matters is the height of your dreams, depth of your character. Thank you for letting me share this small story over here today and change your perspective.
Thank you, Akash, for that insightful and refreshing perspective. You've truly shown us how brilliance comes in many forms. While we wait, we have a short video on World Environment Day, held on June 5th.
World Environment Day is a global reminder that the Earth is our home and it's up to us to protect it. Celebrated every year on June 5th. It raises awareness about urgent environmental issues, climate change, and deforestation. It's a call for action to safeguard nature, restore ecosystems. Our planet is facing serious challenges. Forests are disappearing due to deforestation. Rising temperatures and extreme weather show the impact of climate change. Plastic pollution is choking our oceans and harming wildlife. Planting trees to bring back green spaces, cleaning rivers, beaches, and streets, recycling to reduce waste and pollution, choosing bikes and buses over cars. How is Environment Day celebrated around the world? Trees are planted in schools, parks, and forests. Cleanup events are held on beaches, streets, and riversides.
Recently, I have completed my BLLB and currently I am preparing for competitive exams. I am very thankful to Hidden Voices team for recording the books related to competitive exams.
Six, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
At just 18 years old, Kazia Liz Major is already making waves across the world. Crowned Miss Teen International India, she is set to represent the country on the biggest teen stage in the world later this year. A trained artist with 13 years of experience in 5 different classical dance forms, she brings grace and discipline to everything she does. She's also trained in karate and kalaripayattu and plays both the drums and the violin, a rare blend of strength, rhythm, and elegance. With dreams of becoming a globally known actress and model, she is driven by a deeper mission to inspire, uplift, and create lasting change. With every step she takes, she moves closer to a future where beauty meets purpose and where dreams are not just followed, but fulfilled. Let's give it up for Kazia.
All right, so what if I told you that you can completely change your life? Not by getting luckier or by changing your fate, but by simply believing in a version of yourself that the world hasn't seen yet. Would you think that I'm delusional, or would you maybe secretly hope that I'm right? Let me tell you, my life is a living testament that I indeed am right. What a cliche opening, right? Oh my God. But genuinely, think about it. We've been told to believe in ourselves more times than I can count. But I really don't think we understood the intensity of it, or at least I didn't, until I truly practiced it on the most extreme form. Now, I've been called too ambitious so many times, and not in the, you go girl, you've got that, you can do it, no. More of that confused tilt and smile that says, cute, but are you sure you don't want another practical plan? A plan B? Cute, as if dreaming big was a decoration and not a direction. My whole journey began as a little girl who used to go for these baby shows, and I would refuse to come back home without one of those tiny plastic crowns. Not for the crown itself, but because even then, I couldn't settle for anything less than first place. Me, when I was a kid, have always been a dreamer. I knew that I always had a knack for being on stage, that I shine a little brighter when given the spotlight or given a microphone. And of course, my parents saw that as well. From a very young age, they believed in me even before I became anything. I started learning classical dance at about the age of 4, and before I knew it, I was winning competitions. So I guess it's safe to say that I definitely did find my footing on stage at a young age. And it's only after I grew older that I realized that I was meant for so much more in life. I discovered my passion for acting at around the ages of 6 or 7, and little Kezia has always been a dreamer. My first dream job was to be a pop star, like the ones that you see on these Barbie movies. And no matter how many times everybody used to tell me, that's not a real job. What do you mean? Excuse me? I dreamed harder and I kept going, no matter what people told me. Now, before Miss Teen Diva, which was a competition that I won, I wasn't just fighting for a crown. I was fighting for my confidence. I was fighting to get back myself. That version of me was somebody who shrunk herself, who criticized herself, who was heavily depressed and never believed in herself. And she could not look into the mirror for more than 2 seconds without feeling that self-doubt. So I guess it's safe to say that my biggest challenge was definitely to get back my confidence. During COVID, I discovered what we commonly call fake it till you make it. I tried it out. I did it. At every opportunity, I unleashed my newfound confidence, trembling to the core. I did it scared, I did it doubtful, I did it confused, I did it questioning myself, but I did it. And then something strange happened. The whole world started to believe it, and so did I. At the same time, I also took a lot of time to discover what my purpose in life was. For days, months, for years, my only goal in life was to simply figure out, what am I meant to do here on earth? Who could imagine? An everyday Malayali girl in Abu Dhabi wins the biggest national competition in India for teens and is about to represent her country of 1.4 billion people on an international platform. I didn't. And I never ever thought that that would be possible. Let me tell you something, 99% of people are so convinced that they are incapable of achieving something great. And so they settle for mediocre. They're okay with that. They're scared, they're confused, they're not sure, they're scared people will judge them. Guess what? So does the 1%. So does every single person who actually does something more with their life. We're all scared, we're all questioning it. But the importance is that we are relentless. We decide that it's fine that you're scared, it's okay. Because you're human, at the end of the day you will be. But what matters is that you are ready to believe in yourself. Trust me, if you believe with all your heart and all your soul that you are capable of achieving something, the entire universe will conspire to give it to you, no matter what it may be. And for that, you need to prepare yourself. How do you do that, you ask? It's how you talk to yourself. It's how you showcase yourself to the world. Of course, you can definitely pity yourself and you can think, oh, life is unfair. Life is not meant for me. This is not meant for me. I'm not supposed to do this. I'm a nobody. Or you can convince yourself that you are meant for everything that you put your heart to. You can convince yourself that every obstacle, every opportunity, every experience teaches you something and you are stronger than ever and there is nothing in the world that you cannot face. There is nothing more powerful than changing your mindset to simply believe. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I just found the cheat code to life. You just have to believe, you have to have an insane belief that success is inevitable for you. That no matter what you do in life, you will succeed. And that has to sit at the foundation of your consciousness, because when you believe in something that does not exist just yet, you create it, you give birth to it, and you let it live. But don't get me wrong, that's just the first step. Then comes the years and years of hard work, dedication, the tireless nights of sacrifice, fun you had in your sleep for what you want. But always the first step is to simply believe. All this is simply a procedure to be the best version of yourself. You have to be your biggest fan. You have to believe that you are capable of anything that you put your heart to, because the universe only listens to a stubborn heart. You have to manipulate yourself to believe that you are capable, because by doing that, you manipulate your environment, the people around you, and most importantly, yourself, that nothing is too hard. What the mind believes, what the mind understands, manifests reality. Because 85% of your success is simply determined by your attitude. I am now a dancer, I'm a professionally trained dancer, I'm a model, I'm an athlete, sure. But me before, if you tell the younger version of me that I'm this, she would never believe you. She would laugh at your face, turn around and leave. Because the only thing that I believe is truly worth remembering from what I'm saying is your mindset and how you perceive yourself is the biggest asset that you can have in your life. I kid you not, for each board exam that I had this year, before entering the hall, when everybody else is cramming and trying to understand what's going on, trying to finish the syllabus, I'm sitting there, a second to myself, to simply calm myself and tell myself, why are you worried? You know the entire textbook by heart. You know it like it's the back of your hand. And I kid you not, it worked. I have no idea how, but it worked. That's why I keep saying it's so important for you to understand the power of your mindset. I truly do not believe that we can understand the intensity that it holds, but we need to understand how to control it. And I also truly do believe that each of us do have a purpose, a destiny in life, but it is completely up to us to work towards it, to make sure that all you have, you put in to achieving your destiny. So many of us let our fear of failure outweigh the desire for success, and that is where most people fail. Because we have to make up our mind to be absolutely unstoppable, because by that, you give birth to a version of yourself that even you yourself did not know existed. I promise you, you will fail your way to success. You will fall down. You will have to keep facing obstacles. You will have people telling you that you're not good enough. There will be people telling you that you should stop and you shouldn't be going forward with this. But it is up to you, and it is up to your mindset to believe in yourself. Because if you don't, nobody else will. Let me ask you a question. If this was your last day here on earth, what untold ideas, what brilliance, what dreams and desires are dying with you? What is stopping you from letting your dreams flourish? What is keeping you idle? I did, and that's why I'm here. And that, I believe, is the biggest opportunity that I've gotten in my life, and that is to pursue my dreams simply by believing. You have to trust me when I say this. You have to believe in the power of believing before becoming. I've always believed that good leaders make you believe in them, and great leaders make you believe in yourself. That's all I plan, and that's all I wanted to do in this TED Talk. My entire life is a product of every opportunity that I've taken when everybody else would tell me that I'm not good enough or I'm incapable of doing something. Every opportunity that I took to get back up and look them dead in the face and tell them that I know what I can do and I know my potential. That is the only reason why I am what I am today. Every opportunity, you have to look at the silver lining. You have to look at the light at the end of the tunnel. This is a very nice quote that I really resonate with in my life. If a bird lands on a tree, does it do so because it trusts the branch not to break, or because it trusts its wings to fly? Your only limitation in life is the size of your dreams and the scope of your imagination. And I also do really believe that at the end, everything will be all right. And if it isn't, then it's not the end. Picture abhi baki hai. Embrace the power of your dreams, because I promise you it has the power to shape your reality. So believe before becoming, because that belief, and only that belief, is the beginning of everything. Thank you.
Shammas is a passionate communicator with a deep love for public speaking, leadership, and high-performance teamwork. He enjoys leading dynamic student initiatives. He thrives on inspiring others and driving change. As a sports enthusiast, Shammas brings the same energy from the field to the stage, blending discipline, strategy, and heart. Whether it's delivering a message to the crowd, he believes the power of words and action to move people forward. So now, please put your hands together and help us welcome a young man who's not just raising his voice, but raising the bar. We have Shammas Abdul.
Good morning to everyone. I want you all to picture this. A 12-year-old kid with crooked glasses had gelled like a helmet and the confidence of a person who just won the World Cup. That kid was me. Let me take you back to a simpler time, middle school. Unhygienic, awkward combos, and a belief that I was the best speaker in the school. Seriously though, I strutted into the classroom like I was about to give the TED Talk of the century. I mean, I did have the rhythm, the hand gestures, and the dramatic pause. But as soon as I won a little school competition and got selected as the sports day anchor, I told myself, yep, I've made it in life. Time to retire, undefeated. I couldn't have been more wrong. Since the next term, a quiet kid got up, spoke fewer words, and made a bigger impact. And guess what? He won. I clapped for him, but internally, I cried. And that was the first time I learned a very important lesson, that the podium isn't a destination, it's a pit stop, and you have 40 more laps to go. Let's rewind even further back all the way to primary school. Back then, I was fast. No, I was the fastest. I would run from one side of the field to the other like my lunch depended on it. But one day I told myself, why practice? I'm already the best. I couldn't lose. It's impossible. The next week, it was a big event, the sports day. I ran with everything I had, blood, sweat, and tears put into it. And I lost. I went back home crying. I couldn't believe it. That's when my brother told me a quote that I'll never forget. The moment you stop being hungry, someone hungrier will eat your lunch. And sometimes that lunch can be your medal. And here's the truth about being number one. It's not the final race. It's just a temporary position. You can be the best, but being consistent is powerful. And here's the truth that no one tells you. Someone else is always watching. They're getting better. They're evolving. And they will outwork you, slowly and steadily. And this lets me bring on two topics, discipline and motivation. Let's be honest here. Motivation is that loud friend. He's the friend which comes up and tells, come on, you can do this. Motivation makes you feel like you can run a marathon at 2 a.m. after watching a YouTube video. Discipline though, discipline's quiet. Doesn't shout, but it shows up every single time. Discipline is the thing that gets you up when motivation fades away. It makes you work when no one's watching. It's what keeps you grounded on the pedestal that someone else is dying to reach. Let me give you a modern example. We all have those friends which go to the gym. Can I have a show of hands? No one? All right, that's surprising. Well, I sure do. My friends go to the gym, and these are the friends which go to their parents and beg them to go to the gym after getting 3 Instagram reels, after watching 3 Instagram reels. I mean, these friends might be consistent for the first month, but the moment they hit a wall, the moment they hit the barrier, they stop, they give up. Motivation faded, discipline didn't exist. Back then you were putting Instagram stories of yourself in the gym, you were flexing your non-existent muscles. And it just shows that each and every one of us wants the spotlight. Each and every one of us keep on telling ourselves that we have arrived. But arrival is an illusion, and ego is the friend that hypes you up and pushes you off the cliff. I know, being number one is amazing. It's great. But it doesn't mean that you have won anything meaningful in your life. Because you could be in the top of the leaderboard and still feel like something's missing. You could have everything in your life and still feel like something's missing. You could be lost. Because the greatest of victories are the ones inside your growth, your purpose, and your peace. Your growth, your purpose, and your peace are things which you cannot give up, and you should always strive to achieve them. And now you might be asking me, so Shammas, you're telling me that motivation's bad? It's unhealthy? Of course not. It's great. It's a great start, but that's all it is. It's a start. Discipline to keep on moving forward. So what about success? How should we define success? Well, success is about being better than how you were yesterday, not being better than everyone else in the room. Success is building habits, not chasing highs. Success is building habits, not chasing highs. It's making decisions, not waiting for emotions. Because motivation is a decision. Motivation is an emotion. And discipline is a decision. Decisions build habits, and habits build legacies. So next time you're up in the podium, medal in hand, lift up, be proud of yourself. But remember, the view from top is beautiful, it's gorgeous. That's until you realize there's no railing. And the only thing keeping you from falling is discipline. Thank you.
Thank you, Shamas, for your empowering words. Your belief in action and impact truly resonated with all of us. Next, please welcome Deek Parashini, the founder of the Life is All Positive Foundation, LIAP, and the unstoppable force behind over 250 motivational sessions that have ignited hope and positivity across the globe. Driven by his core belief that life is all positive and negativity doesn't exist, Deek has built a volunteer-powered movement that has touched over 200,000 lives in India alone, delivering compassion through 75 community projects, over 14,500 nutritional meals, and 12,000 plus trees planted and distributed to promote sustainability and well-being. So now, with your energy high and your hearts open, let us all welcome to the stage the positivity powerhouse himself, Deek Parashini.
A positive day to all my mothers, fathers, brothers, and sisters. Now I'll be thinking, why am I doing this in this way? I'm a person who believes that life is all positive, negativity doesn't exist. Depression, frustration, sadness, anger, everything is generally created. Right? Have you ever noticed a small baby? What happens to a small baby? When the baby is born, you hit the baby, you give baby any negativity. It comes back to the same positivity. True? You hit a baby, the baby cries and forgets everything as if nothing has happened. And he comes back. So God and universe have created us that way. So my question to you is, why be an adult? If God has created us as a baby, why not live like a baby or die like a baby? But what we do, we are born like a baby, we live like an adult, and as we age, we slowly start being like a baby. You have seen your grandmother angry for no good reason, right? Or forgiving everyone quite very quickly. If someone calls you a bad word, what happens? How dare he calls me a bad word? But if someone calls a child a bad word, he'll come back, hey, hug me, no. So what I'm trying to make you understand here is, if God and universe have created us that way, why are we changing? Right? Little bit about me. I'm a person who believes that life is all positive, negative doesn't exist. Everything what I do as a giving back to the society and community. Because I see you as my family. I see the whole world as my family. And if I see them as whole as my family, can I charge? Can I make money out of you? If a brother like you sitting here has a problem, do I say, pay me, then I'll solve the problem? So I went around all around this world giving these talks. So now I was talking to the team, and you all wanted my story. So let me quickly tell you how it all started. In this concept called life is all positive, negativity doesn't exist. 25 years ago, I stood on the same stage. I don't know, most of you know I'm an alumni of ADIS. 25 years ago, I stood there, and my first talk was, school, attention, school standards. I was a sports secretary, right? My legs were shivering. Oh my God, such a big audience, school attendance, and I just ran back. That's the only talk I gave on the stage. Right? Nothing after that. So everything was great. As you know, I was a very happy-go-lucky guy. And most guys are kind of happy-go-lucky people. But then what happened is, we had a lot of strong friends. Everything was great. I was an athlete. I was one of the fastest guys in school. I was planning to get 5 gold in sports. Right? So I had this big ego which has built up because I was the fastest. My speed was equal to the super seniors. I was going. On the relay thing, my friend fell down. I tripped over him and I fell down. Slowly I had a muscle pull. My complete career on athletics was gone. Still in the 12th, I was running hard. Still I equaled the record, but never broke it. That with a broken back. I was like, sir came to me as, you could have broken it. I said, I tried my best. But then it didn't happen. So then what happens is people have a lot of expectation. When you're a superstar or when you're doing great stuff in school, people have a lot of expectation. Everyone's expectation doomed. I couldn't do well in inter-school because in my 11th, I got the inter-school. I was a championship in Dubai. But this 12th was completely doomed. So you're completely broken at that time. Now I don't care. That was broken. It was good it happened. It was broken. Slowly you start to lose your friends. Slowly you start having issues with everything. Because everyone was yours because you were this top guy. No, I'm with him, I'm with him, I'm with him. So I said, I'm done with my friends. Right? I switched off my mobile for 2 years and decided to be the most successful man and be the most richest guy so that people will give me value. That's how it all started. So switching off your mobile for 2 years is not that easy. It's really crazy. But I thought, let me become someone first. As I always say to the youth, be someone first, then go after someone. Be someone first, then go after someone. Don't do it before. You tend to mess it up. So what I did, this is again a tip for you people. Whatever dreams you have, go and search the skills, the education which you needed. So I was a happy-go-lucky guy. When you're completely down with life, what do? You go ask your father, Father, what do you want to become? So that time, my father said, go be a manager. So I was like, manager? At that time, a managing director was a big post. 25 years ago. These are all 25 years ago stories. So what I did, opened up the classified. What does a manager need? 20 to 30 years of experience and an MBA. I was like, 20 years of experience. If I finish my bachelor's, if I did my master's, then 20 years, I become manager at the age of 50. Man, I don't want to be an old manager. Right? But what's going to happen? My children are going to enjoy with my money and I'm going to die. Or they're going to wait when I'm going to die. Right? So I was like, this is not going to happen. I want to be a manager much more earlier. So there is this 20 years of experience and an MBA to figure out. I was like, let me work and study and see what happens. So after ADIS, I thought, let me work and study. So working and studying is not that easy. Now people even complain 16 hours of work and all these things. I'm always thankful to God and universe that I was able to work and study. So whenever you're doing two things together, this is another tip for you. Whenever you're doing two things together, you can't perform in line with people who are doing one thing. So if I'm working and studying, I'll be a little bit inferior in studies, I'll be a little bit inferior in my work. I've accepted that fact. So at the age of 18, I started working and studying. Did my bachelor's, my first job was a secretary's job. Second tip for you people, after whatever degree you get, or whenever you are, if you are getting a job, please take it. Don't think that I'm an engineer, I will only do an engineer's job. Get to anything what's available, free job, take it. Half people are sitting without any job. True? So when opportunity comes, just take it and focus on what is there for me to learn. So my first job, secretary. Got promoted to a depot administrator. Everything was great, doing my bachelor's. And how? Morning I was working, evening I was studying. Right? Now people say, how many hours? It all took 16 hours I was working and studying. Why? I want to finish that 20 years as quick as I can. So I worked. I got promoted. Then I got a new opportunity as a storekeeper. Right? Now storekeeper, senior depot administrator and a storekeeper was a new. But they paid me double the salary. I was like, double the salary, richest man in the world. That was my plan. So what do I have to do? Money versus this one. I went and discussed with my friends, few friends I had. Hey, double the salary. He said, go, money. I said, okay, fine. I went and asked my mom, what am I supposed to do? Hey, career is important. You are senior depot administrator. Mama, double the salary. Then, uncles and the aunties will come. People who are free, nothing to do, free advice. They came to me and told me, Hey, don't focus so much on money. Uncle, auntie, what? Double the salary. Double the salary, no one can take. Right? So I went for the job. I went for the job, storekeeping, and I was the most, extrovert guy. I was kept as if in a jail, right? Where only people will come for parts. I was like, but then God and universe taught me how to stay calm, how to stay alone, how to stay composed. After that, I was into storekeeping, but I made sure I went and did other people's job also. Why I started doing other people's job? So I can learn the people's job. So I used to work as a storekeeper, working as a technician, working as a customer, started doing that. Everyone think that they could misuse me. So the customer support guy comes to me and told me that, can you do my job when I'm going on leave? I said, yes, give it to me. Without any pay, I did his job for 1 month. He resigned. After 1 month, who's the next best candidate? Me, I got the customer support. See, what I'm trying to tell you here is, if you learn the job, a guy who did all his education in commerce can be an engineer. Right? So what I did, I started doing that, worked it, customer support. I was reporting the customer support manager. I was like, cool, I'm 1 step ahead from that. Right? Started doing his job. Sir, you sit free. I will do your job. I started doing his job. The sales manager saw the customer support manager sitting very free. He figured out, I'm helping. Can you join my department? I said, why not? Promote me, I will join. Got the promotion. See, I never went for a formal interview. All my interviews were rigged. Right? Because you started helping. After that, there was a big reorganization which happened, which slowly stepped in. I was going to be removed. But I had such a big team of support who have helped, they got me back. They changed the role. They changed the role from senior. They needed an engineer there because a sales engineer. They changed it to a technical sales representative. A guy in commerce gets a technical next to his name. I said, like, see friends, I'm close to be an engineer now. Then I had this new boss who I'm still working. The other stuffs which you see is the other side. But I want to tell you how ADIS has got me here. How the system, if you really work hard, has got me here. Right? After that, I was doing this sales engineer's job. I got a new person who I work for a Canadian company now. I'm always thankful for that job because of which I could do really my mission. I had an interview. It took him 1 year to give me that job. Sometimes, as you go higher, it might take time for you to reach there. Got that job. Right now, I'm still working for the last 12 years in that company. They offered me promotion, but I didn't take it. Right? Because I had a bigger mission of life is all positive, which was born. How that was born? Once you're too successful in life, you tend to think that I'm enjoying the world was suffering. So I thought, okay, let me do something for this world. So I started thinking, as you know, when you have this big idea, people will travel religious spots, right? So I went to temples, churches, dargahs, God, the answer, give me the answer. He never gave anything. I said, done with religions and all these stuffs. But then once I came back to school, met the supervisor of the school, ADIS, right? And he told me one statement that today's generations are all gone. I'm done with them. The person who used to idolize in school, saying such a statement, got me really back. If he has given, someone has to stand up. So that's the first step my light bulb clicked. Let me do something for the youth. So I started first on Facebook. 10, 15 years ago, Facebook was very big. Wrote my first article, over attachment. It didn't go well. But over attachment to lover picked up. Girlfriend, boyfriend, all these things, right? That picked up. So girls, boys, break up, don't know what to do. I'm sitting in depression, don't know what to do. The boy dumped me, don't know what to do. I feel like dying. So many kids started, and I ran an ad also, on that article. So every time I used to get like 10, 15 students messaging me, chatted for 2 years, showing them the path of how to get out of all these mental health issues, started doing that. Then when I traveled, people wanted to meet me. I said, okay, whenever I travel from work, let's meet up. So I started meeting. Then a teacher had a doubt. Can you clarify your doubts? I said, like, why not? I clarified a doubt. Can you do it for a school? I said, like, why not? And then I'm always thankful that the first session was me standing in the crowd, 400 girls. Now, one guy, first talk, God has given 400 girls. What am I supposed to do? So you start with all this motivation to talk positivity, rich guy, So I thought, let me do positivity. I got blanked out after 10 minutes. I said, what am I supposed to do after blanking? I said, hey, girls, you have any questions? Luckily, a girl asked a question. Luckily, I'm always thankful to her. She gave me the question, gave an answer, then slowly found out my sessions have moved into Q&A, where I tell them, you can ask me any question from birth to death. Any questions which is bothering you, irritating. Started doing that, slowly stepped up. What I'm trying to make you understand is, I'm still working. Right? I didn't leave. Many people tell, leave your job, go after your passion. I'm doing my passion now. Doing my job also. Taking care of the family also. I have a kid who's studying in ADIS. Right? So what I'm telling you in summary, when life is all positive, you don't need to sacrifice or remove stuffs out of your life. Many people say, if your parents don't accept you, leave them, go after your dream. That's not what we are here. Most of the people right now are confused. Why? Parents don't understand, children don't understand. Generation gap. Scam. You know why generation gap exists? Both the parties don't want to improve, so let me blame generation gap. Right? So what is naturally happening, everyone is blaming, no one is improving, sit in the same spot we have. So what happens? Mother has given up, father has given up, the children have given up. There, maybe as a brother or as a son, I need to fill that gap. So then I started doing more sessions, then slowly I got corporate sessions, then lately I did it to IIT Dhanbad. It just went on and on and on. And now, my always friend, the last thing you have to do is a TEDx talk. Right? So that the world will also know. Here I am in front of you doing this TEDx talk. So what I'm trying to make you simply understand is that work, learn, only then the growth is there. And the last part is ask questions. Most of the people have stopped asking questions. It is like that. It is not like that. If there is a problem, ask. Right? And the other thing, you already know what to ask also. How many of you drink soft drinks? Raise your hand. Raise, let me see. Put your hands down. How many know it's bad for health? Raise your hand. And you pray, God, give me good health. God is also confused what to do. So don't confuse the poor guy. You already know what needs to be done. Don't build up stories and everything else to justify your life that you are right. If you know what is wrong. The soft drink example is just an example of the negativity we are willingly doing. Life can only be positive if you stop willingly ignoring. I'm okay as a brother if you ignore. But my problem is, stop willingly ignoring. There, God is going to really hit you hard. That's it. Thank you. Hand it over.
Thank you, Mr. Deek, for sharing such an inspiring vision. Your message that life is all positive is a reminder we'll all carry forward. While we wait, let us all watch a video on the Hold That Drop campaign initiated by our beloved Principal Sir.
Shriyukta is a remarkably intelligent and dynamic student whose talents span across academics, athletics, and the arts. A gifted public speaker, she is known for her articulate expression, commanding presence, and the ability to engage audiences with clarity and confidence. Her passion for politics, current affairs, and meaningful dialogue makes her a standout voice among her peers. Shriyukta is also a classically trained Kuchipudi dancer, bringing elegance and emotion to every performance. On the field, she is a formidable athlete, excelling in both basketball and handball, often taking on leadership roles in her teams. In addition to her many talents, she is a curious reader, a thoughtful conversationalist, and someone who values empathy, collaboration, and critical thinking. Whether she's on stage, on the court, or in the classroom, Shriyukta leads with purpose, creativity, and an unwavering drive to inspire those around her. So, get ready to be inspired. Please give a warm welcome to the extraordinary Shriyukta.
Good morning, everyone. Let me take you back to a time when my life goal was to build a time machine. Not because I was a scientific genius at the age of 8, nope, but because I was obsessed with the cartoon Doraemon. Yes, that blue, earless, futuristic cat robot who had almost everything in his pocket, especially a time machine. Now, imagine little me in a tiny lab coat, oversized goggles, and a very serious plan to bend time and space. Spoiler alert, I never actually built that time machine. But what I did build over the years is a growing list of dreams, ideas, and career paths, each one completely different from the last. As I grew older, my dream of time travel kind of faded. Instead, I started getting the question that every student hears over and over again. What do you want to be when you grow up? At the age of 12, I decided to be an IAS officer. I didn't really understand what it meant, but it sounded important. And saying it out loud made the adults nod like I had figured out life. Around the same time, everyone around me wanted to be a doctor. Friends, family, neighbors, everyone was on the medicine train. And I just remember sitting there thinking, I don't know what I want to be, but I'm 100% sure it's not a doctor. And yet, surprise, surprise, I did consider medicine for a brief moment in 10th grade. Maybe it was an identity crisis. Maybe it was panic. Or maybe I was just trying to fit in. But just like my time machine phase, the idea came and went. Looking back, I had the most random collection of dreams. One day, I wanted to be a chef because I loved playing with my kitchen toy set. The other day, I wanted to be a detective, like Sherlock Holmes, solving mysteries. Honestly, if you would have asked me in 3rd grade, I would have probably said, I want to be a professional ice cream taster. Because why not? It's funny how our dreams change so quickly. Because at that age, it's not about having a clear plan. It's about trying on different hats, seeing what fit, and letting our imagination run wild. There were many moments of doubt. Like one time in 11th grade, I was so confused that I spent an entire evening doing those what career suits you the best online quizzes. You know, the ones that ask you questions like, do you like working with people or with numbers? And surprisingly, every quiz I took told me that I should be a fashion designer. I can't even match my own socks. So that was definitely not it. Right now, I have decided to pursue computer science engineering. I enjoy it. I feel aligned with it, and I'm committed to giving it my best. But I have realized something important. Dreams don't always come fully formed. They evolve as we evolve. Sometimes they start off as a quiet interest, a passing thought, or even a side hobby. And before you know it, they grow into something more meaningful. Or sometimes they may completely shift. And that's okay. It's not failure. It's a part of the process. We're grown up, being told to find our passion, our big calling, our one big dream. And that's great if you have one. But what if you don't? I've realized that for many of us, the journey is not linear. In fact, I know many people who have studied engineering for years end up becoming filmmakers. People with degrees in law now run bakeries. Doctors who have become designers. It's not because they lack direction. It's because along the way, they discovered something new about the world, about themselves. So what's more important is the willingness to be open, to be flexible, to change, to follow the path of curiosity instead of a rigid plan, to treat life less like a straight road and more like a winding path full of detours, which might lead you to something better than what you have imagined. Every time I changed paths, from scientist to IAS officer to maybe medicine to computer science, I wasn't lost. I was learning. I was learning about what interests me, what inspires me, and what kind of life I want to build. Exploration is not a distraction from your dream. It's a part of the process of defining it. And I truly believe that it's in these moments when we're unsure, when we're trying out new things, that we discover our greatest strengths. So, if anyone here feels uncertain about your future, know that it's not your weakness. It's an opportunity. It does not mean that you lack ambition. It just means that you're human and you're trying to give yourself space to figure it out. I respect the importance of having a goal, but I also believe that how we arrive at the goal matters just as much as the goal itself. My path has not been straight, but it's certainly been filled with discovery. And honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way, because if I didn't let myself explore, then I wouldn't have realized how much I enjoy working with technology. So, to everyone here, if you're still figuring it out, that's okay. You're not behind. Keep growing. I would like to conclude by saying that dreams aren't something you always chase from the start. Sometimes the dream finds you when you're ready for it. So keep exploring, keep growing. Just trust the process and the right path will find you when it's meant to. Thank you.
Thank you, Shrikta, for that articulate and thought-provoking talk. You've left us inspired and uplifted. Shadia Siddiqui is a British female with South Asian heritage, a strategist, former diplomat, and cultural advocate, is based in Abu Dhabi. A passionate storyteller, Shadia is the founder of Renaissance, a platform that amplifies South Asian voices in the Middle East through cultural programming and creative dialogue. She also hosts the podcast, What's Brown Got to Do With It?, featuring bold conversations with South Asians breaking barriers globally. Shadia brings a unique lens shaped by diplomacy, diaspora identity, and organizational leadership, challenging stereotypes and championing inclusive narratives wherever she goes. So please, join me in giving a warm and thunderous welcome to a woman who is redefining what it means to lead with culture, courage, and conviction, Shadia Siddiqui.
Hi, everyone. Let's start with a question. Have you ever walked into a room and felt like the entire space was built without you in mind? Now, imagine that for most of your professional career. As a South Asian woman, raised with the dual weight of expectation and ambition, I've had to navigate global rooms where the mic was never mine to begin with. But here's a plot twist. I took it in anyway. Growing up, I was taught two things. Number one, be proud of your culture, but number two, just don't be too loud about it. Whether I was in a classroom in England or in a boardroom in Abu Dhabi, I carried with me a hyphenated identity of being a British Asian, like it came with an invisible manual of do's and don'ts. Don't bring samosas to lunch. People won't like the smell. Don't wear jhumkas to meetings. You know, it looks really unprofessional. And don't talk too much about race. It makes people really uncomfortable. Yet here we are, and here I am, talking about exactly that. But this isn't just about me, it's about the history that we carry. For centuries, South Asians have lived under the colonial rule that not only took our land, but reshaped our identities, dividing communities, enforcing hierarchies, and leaving us fragmented. Even after independence, these divides, whether they were regional, religious, or cultural, continue to persist. We were taught to conform, to stay silent, to navigate the world with an inherited weight of ambition and expectation and caution. And that's the history that I take with me to every room I walk into. But there came a moment when I realized that this weight wasn't mine to carry. This weight was mine to challenge. One of the first times I consciously dropped the mic, I remember, was in my very first jobs. I was sitting in a boardroom with senior leaders. I looked around the table, and not only was I the youngest person in the room, but I was the only female person of color. Conversations were taking place around this table, conversations around diplomacy, global engagement, strategy, leadership. And I remember thinking, they're talking to each other and they're not including me because they think I'm here to take notes. So I challenged the narrative. I said something loud, but intentional. I challenged the narrative professionally, clearly, but unapologetically. The room shifted, leaned out, some leaned in, but the point here was, the mic was finally in my hands. You see, sometimes being visible in global spaces comes at a cost. You're either too brown to be mainstream, or you're just not brown enough to come across as authentic. You become the translator of all things cultural, nuances, of everything unspoken. You're expected to explain your name, your accent, your festivals, your existence. And there were moments when I questioned this. I thought to myself, do I downplay parts of who I am to be heard? Or do I remain true to myself and speak up at the risk of being silenced? But here's the thing. Every time I chose the latter, I became louder. Not in volume, but in presence. Because we talk a lot about representation, we talk about having a seat at the table, but here's the thing. Representation without redistribution, it's just decoration. It's not enough to just be in the room. We need to shape the room, challenge its design, invite people in, people who look like us, think like us, challenge like us. Because in a global world, being brown is not a limitation, it's a lens. And when we center our stories, we don't just take up space, we transform it. For me, my turning point wasn't when somebody gave me permission to speak in a room. It wasn't when the board members gave me permission to speak at the table. It was when I stopped waiting for permission. I launched platforms that amplified South Asian voices. I started Sacred, the South Asian Community for Representation, Engagement and Development, to connect, to represent, to grow South Asian communities here in the Middle East. I started my podcast, What's Brown Got to Do With It, to amplify stories of South Asians. And then I started Resonance, a cultural platform spotlighting our culture, our heritage, events through storytelling, through narrative, through lived experiences. Built teams that reflected inclusion, not just in HR slogans, but in lived experiences. I hosted conversations that made people very uncomfortable, but in the best way. Because progress is never polite and change rarely whispers. So what's Brown got to do with it? Everything. It's the resilience in our stories. It's the complexity in our identities. It's the rhythm in our voices even when they tremble. It's the power to disrupt, to rebuild and reimagine the spaces that we were once told we're not allowed to be in. Because you see, I'm not here just to fit in. I'm here to drop the mic because I know what I bring to the table and I'm never afraid to flip it. Thank you.
Thank you, Shadia, for your deeply resonant image and for sharing your powerful journey with us today. Next, Firdaus is a bright and accomplished 15-year-old high school student with a deep passion for reading, writing, debate, and table tennis. A consistent academic topper, she has also won numerous accolades in elocution, qiraat, presentations, and table tennis. Beyond the classroom, Firdaus is a confident and charismatic speaker who has anchored several school and community programs. Through her words, she encourages educators, parents, and peers to look beyond grades and recognize the diverse talents and voices that often go unnoticed. So now, let us welcome a rising star, one whose voice carries the power to transform perspectives one sentence at a time. We welcome Firdaus Jopa.
Have you ever written the right answer on a test, only to doubt yourself, erase it, and then so confidently write the wrong one? Or pulled an all-nighter, switching between your textbooks, Byju's videos, bargains with the universe, promising to study better next time, and still end up hearing that your neighbor's son scored higher than you again? Yeah, if I had a rupee for every time I heard that, I'd probably have enough to start my own coaching center. A very good morning, respected audience. I am Firdaus Muhammadu Jopa of class 10, and today I'm here to talk about something that all of us as students have struggled with, stressed over, and been judged for: our grades. But here's the thing, grades don't tell the full story. And maybe it's about time we rethink what school actually measures. Last year, during midterms, the pressure was real. We all went, full caffeine mode, late night cram study sessions, etc., etc. Then, on the morning of the exam, a friend of mine, a gold medalist in procrastination, she walks up to me and she says that she has not studied a thing. Now, usually when someone says this, you just know they're lying. Like, okay, you didn't study but magically scored 100? Sure. But this friend, she was genuinely unprepared. Another friend of mine decides to tell her all the key points. Fast forward, my friend who studied 10 minutes before the exam ends up scoring higher than the one who gave her the crash course. You see, if grades really measured effort or dedication, then this shouldn't have happened, right? Now, don't get me wrong, I still care about my grades, probably more than I should. I stared at the red numbers like they were personal insults, like, congrats, you failed math, and your ancestors. But if that story's taught me anything, it's that schools often measure how well you can memorize, guess, or work under pressure, not actually how much you've learned or grown. Because, real learning, it's not just about some letter on top of a page. It's about how you think, how you bounce back, and how you deal when things don't go your way. School might test your memory, but life tests your character. And guess what? There's no MCQ to get lucky on that one. So, what happens when we begin to, consider grades as the only measure of success? Well, we begin to believe that they reflect everything from our efforts to our intelligence to even our potential. As Albert Einstein once quoted, everybody is a genius, but if we judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it lives its entire life believing it's stupid. And let's be honest, some of us are like dolphins in this tree climbing contest. And hey, that's exactly what grades do. They make us doubt our own unique abilities and strengths. I mean, they don't show the full story, do they? They don't reflect the late night study sessions, the sacrifices, from sleep to your social life to scrolling on TikTok, pretending to be on a study break. They definitely don't define your worth or value as a person. I mean, schools don't grade you for, explaining the entire syllabus to your friend at 1 a.m. and then watching them score higher. But hey, maybe it should. Like, that is a real talent, right? Now, I'm not saying throw your textbooks out the window or something. Please don't though, books are expensive. But grades do matter. They open doors, they get you into colleges, and sometimes they even save you from your parents' flying chappal. We've all been there. But that's the thing. They only measure some of our abilities. Why are we letting it define all of who we are? I still remember this one time in 8th grade, I had a really important test coming up, and I had worked really hard for it. But then I lost marks. Not because I didn't know the right answer, but because I copied the wrong question. And just like that, all my effort went to waste. I felt like the stupidest person alive. Like, who copies the wrong question? I let one mistake convince me that I wasn't smart enough, when in reality, I was just human. I mean, since when did one number get to decide whether we're truly smart or just enough? That's like judging an entire ice cream shop based off one flavor, and that too plain vanilla. So, what can we do? Well, firstly, give yourself credit for the effort you put in. Survive the late night session, celebrate the small win. Learned math through YouTube, that's still an achievement, flex it. Secondly, discover what makes you you beyond the marks. Maybe you're the go-to therapist friend, or, an athlete, a musician, an artist, or maybe you're just someone who knows how to make others feel seen and heard. Skills no test can grade, but everyone values. And lastly, don't be afraid to ask for help or to say, I'm struggling. Stress and burnout, they don't care about how smart you are. They hit everyone. Talking about sharing the load, it makes it much, much easier to carry. Remember, real success, it's not just about cramming 10 minutes before a test. It's about the effort, the resilience, and the heart behind it all. Because guess what? At the end of the day, you're not just here to pass some tests, are you? No, you're here to learn, to grow, to make memories, to have fun, and to become someone you're incredibly proud of. Thanks for listening, and hey, the next time you catch yourself erasing the right answer and writing the wrong one, just remember, one mistake does not close your book. You do, so keep writing, because your story is still being written, and you hold the pen. Thank you.
Thank you, Firdaus, for reminding us that there is much more to a student than just a report card. Your voice matters, and we heard it loud and clear. Now, let us all watch a short video presented to you by the Red Crescent Club of our school. The students can disperse now.
Recently, I have completed my BLLB and currently I am preparing for competitive exams. I am very thankful to Hidden Voices team for recording the books related to competitive exams.
Six, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Engineer Daygrace Caballé is a licensed professional mechanical engineer with over 20 years of combined experience in project management, US federal contracting, and engineering in the Middle East. A former government scholar and consistent Dean's Lister, she is currently completing her PhD in business management, majoring in engineer. She is the first Filipina to receive a US federal contracting certificate in her batch and is the first Filipina mechanical engineer listed in the ASEAN Chartered Professional Engineer Registry. Known for her excellence in leadership, she successfully led a multi-million-dollar project that generated over $50 million in savings. She is also the current chairman for the PSME Project Management Technical Division and a multi-awarded Toastmaster. So today, as we celebrate leadership, brilliance, and boundless possibility, please join me in giving a standing ovation to someone who's not just shaping the future of engineering, but engineering the future itself. Engineer Daygrace Caballé, a trailblazer, a visionary, and a true global ambassador of Filipino excellence.
Whenever I come on a construction site, they always look at me like, why is she here? She doesn't belong here. Whenever I jump out of a truck to pour concrete and measure slump tests on a construction site, they always look at me like, why is she doing that? And I even being asked one time, engineer, why you have to be here? You have to be in the office, do some paperwork. And you know my question, you know what my answer is? Why not? Good morning, everyone. My name is Daygrace Salunga, and I am a mechanical engineer. Someone might think, why is she wearing a work boots in a TED Talk? When you wear a suit, you wear high heels, isn't it? I know I'm different. And my mom always tell me, Day, as long as you don't hurt anybody, you don't apologize for being different. And that is something I want to get everyone in here. It's okay to be different. It's okay not to be the same. Because being different makes you unique. And what makes you unique defines who we are. I have a question for everyone in here. Who among you would like to be a doctor? Please raise your hand. Any doctor? Amazing. Who wants you to be an engineer? Raise your hand. Amazing. Only one? A lawyer. Anybody wants to be a lawyer? Good. Politician. Politician. Who wants to be a politician? A prime minister? Anyone? Well, every one of us has its own connection, our own goals of who we want to be. But the question be, are you good enough to be that person you want to be? Have you ever thought about yourself? Am I good enough to be who I wanted to be? Don't answer? It's okay. We're going to talk about it a little bit later. I want to share you something. I was once like you before. I'm a student way back. The only difference was, it's my family. The only difference was I did not have the privilege to choose the school I want to go. I did not have the luxury to choose the school, a private school like ADIS, like most of you guys. I was born in a small village in the Philippines way back. Me, my sister, my brother, and my other younger brother. This picture is old. Yeah, it is. So we were 6 in the family, my mom, my dad. So the family was, life before was decent. Monday to Friday, we go to school. Saturday, we go play. Sunday, we go to church. We go to the movie. My mom and dad bring us to the restaurant. We eat. It's a simple family, a simple life way back then. Nothing fancy, just simple, comfortable. But things change. My dad decided to go to Saudi Arabia. I was grade 5 at that time. So during that time, I was really excited because knowing that my dad would go Saudi Arabia, work abroad, we're going to have a chance to go in a private school. We're going to have nice bags, clothes, shoes. But it was different. It's different. My dad and mom started to fight. They did not agree on finances. And then at one point, my dad stopped sending finances. And that was everything fall down. We don't have enough money to even buy food, to pay electric bills, to go to school. And my mom, a housewife. Imagine, how can you be raised by a housewife? What job can she take being a housewife? And you know what? My mom is my Wonder Woman. She took anything, any job. She became a dishwasher, a caretaker, a pool caretaker, a caregiver, anything, any job. As long as she would bring money to the table, feed 4 children, send these children to school, a public school, and make life out of that almost nothing. I was 3rd year high school when my small brother, the youngest one, was diagnosed of a heart condition. He has a heart that has a hole. It's congenital heart disease. So the doctor said, this boy grows up, the hole in his heart becomes bigger. At the age of 8, that young boy died. That was the last picture we have with my own brother. And the next, see that other picture? That's me. Can you go back, please? That's me with the shades. Like, I know it's nighttime and I'm wearing shades. I don't know, it's like for fun. And that's my sister. And that's the only brother that I have. Because the young brother here who has the bag died. It was a devastating news for my family. My dad was not able to come from Saudi Arabia. My mom, she was so heartbroken, she could not speak for months. She could not even eat for months. And me, being a 14-year-old girl, I have to be the father, the mother, the big sister for my siblings, becoming the gravity that holds everyone in place, making sure that this life will have to be comfortable, will have to be together, and not fly everywhere. I was fourth year when my mom told me, you cannot go to college. And I was like, no, Mom, I have to go to college. And I was like, how? We could not even barely buy food. How can I send you to college? I told my mom, do not worry about it, Mom. I will take a scholarship and I will finish my college degree, whatever it takes, whatever it goes. 14 years old, I don't know how to even go to the city. We were living in a village, so how can I go to the city, take an examination, submit a form? We don't have an internet. We don't even have a computer. So how can I submit those forms? So my teacher, because I'm an honor student since I was kindergarten, my teachers know that we have this situation. They helped me out, fill up the form, submit that form, and I was able to get the scholarship that we have. Over 250,000 in the Philippines took the examination, only 5,050 passed. And out of that 5,000, only 500 passed in our state, and I'm one of those fortunate 500 students. This picture shows we were competing for physics Olympiad. And when I entered college, I told, first, when I have the entrance exam, they asked me, what do you want for major? I said, I want to be a mechanical engineer. They look at me funny. Mechanical engineering is for boys. Mechanical engineering is not for girls. You know what I did? I told the registrar's office, Ma'am, with all due respect, there's no rule that limits the students to only be for men, for boys. I will be a mechanical engineering student. And you know what they asked me? Do you have what it takes? You think you're good enough? Can you make it? And my answer would be, yes, ma'am, I can and I will. So I was accepted as a mechanical engineering student. We were just two in the class, and all of them are boys. And throughout, you know, the three idiots, right? Engineering is not easy. For a male, for a boy, it's not easy. Most especially for girls. I need to do welding. I need to do lathe machining. I overhaul car engines. And I am a girl. And of course, it's always like limited favorable for guys because this is how they do things. But I have to prove myself. I have that slot of being a mechanical engineering student. Being a girl in a mechanical engineering field and being a scholar, full scholar, is very difficult. You just not to have your grade, cannot just be passing your subject. If you are a scholar, you have to maintain a grade. I have to be a Dean's Lister all throughout, just to make sure I will not fail. Because if I lose my scholarship, I'm losing my family. And that is not the goal. The goal is to finish the school and get a job and help my mom build our family. Thank God I was able to finish my college life and I was able to provide, or the government was able to provide us a job. So moving forward, I got accepted in a Japanese multi-million-dollar firm in the Philippines. And during my 5-year term, there is a huge problem in the plant, making sure that there will be a repeated process on that time. With my team, we were able to track what's the issue with that process, and by studying what needs to be done, by Six Sigma and T-Mic projects, we were able to produce a system that saved Japan, that saved our company over a multi-million-dollar savings. And because of that, I was asked to go to Japan and receive 3 major awards that only Filipina was ever received for that company. When I was in Toshiba, I said, I am built for more. I'm built to do more. I was called to work in Dubai, so I flew in Dubai in 2009, and then eventually deployed to Qatar in 2010, and then came back to Abu Dhabi in 2012. I was tasked to hold a project, a multi-million project, $110 million, which we have almost been finishing this year. And basically, I was being asked currently to handle a 1.3 billion revamp project in one of the most prestigious petrochemical company here in Abu Dhabi. And I'm really excited to be part of that big program. So moving on, all of this, you might ask, what's the goal? What's the end? So the point is, we are all different. And you should not apologize for being different, because that's what makes you you. And all of these people in here, the only competition that you have is yourself. You do not listen to anyone, because that is not your part. You should aim, we should aim to be better person than yesterday. You should not compare who you are to your people, to your classmates, because you have your own path. Girls, you should not aim to be just a pretty face in the office. You are not just born to be that decoration in one's office, because we, ladies, can have our own voice to voice out. We can also be the leaders on our own special way. And we can also be decision makers in what we do in our life and in family's life. The last thing I would like to say for this brilliant student of ADIS, the future leaders of the world. You got it? Can you give a round of applause for yourself? Name it. The future leaders of the world. If someone will doubt you of how and who you would be in the coming future, if they will ask you, do you have what it takes to be that person you want to be? Do not shy away. Do not be afraid. Embrace it. And tell them tell me and I, if they ask, hey, do you get what it takes to be that leader that you want to be? Tell them, yes, I am capable, and I can be that best person, the successful one that I am born to be. And if they doubt any one of you, tell them, please be our guest. Watch me. Thank you.
Thank you, Engineer Degres, for sharing your remarkable journey and reminding us all that boundaries are meant to be broken. Lastly, we have Agam, a 15-year-old from Punjab, holding a deep-rooted passion for Formula One and a mind that flourishes in environments that combine innovation and leadership. Whether he is mentoring juniors or organizing sustainable initiatives through the Prakriti Club, he infuses his work with vitality and purpose. He is an inquisitive student, self-assured speaker, and a mediocre cook. Agam is enthusiastic about sparking imagination, making a difference, and gaining knowledge from every encounter. A perfectionist with a dreamer's heart, he draws inspiration from the strategy and speed of the Formula One, always ready for the next lap. Driven by purpose, curiosity, and an eye for the future, Please welcome the dynamic young mind, Agamjot Singh.
Thank you. I'll start off my talk with a fact which may surprise some of you, and by some of you I mean most of you. And it's the fact that as much as I love Formula One, I've never driven a Formula One car before. I know, shocker. Yet still, this life that we're living, it feels like a race. A race which you all didn't exactly sign up for. You know, you've just been put into a car and you've been told to drive as fast as possible for as long as possible. And that your entire future is dependent on shaving off those few milliseconds to get an edge on the competition. And I get it. You know, school can feel like that. It's a repetitive, a regimental cycle. All it feels like is assignment, test, practice, school, repeat. Assignment, test, practice, school, repeat. And if you pause, even for a moment, you'll fall so incredibly behind that catching up isn't an option anymore. And I know that race. Because, trust me, I was running it too, for quite a long period of my life. I do believe that my worth as a student, it came from motion. And that productivity at all times meant progress at all times. And rest, well, rest wasn't in my dictionary. Rest was only an excuse for the people who couldn't handle the stress, who couldn't handle the burden on their shoulders. And that was until I burned out. Quite hard, that is. A very warm morning to one and all present here. I'm Agamjot Singh, and today I wish to speak on a phenomenon which I'm so incredibly sure each and every single person sitting in this auditorium right now has experienced at least once in their life. And that is burnout. Now, during this period of life, it was something quite unexpected which helped me. It wasn't a book, it wasn't a mentor, it wasn't any teacher or mentor, therapist, it wasn't that. It was the sport of Formula One. Yes, that Formula One, the one with fast cars, cutting-edge aerodynamics, the wisest strategists. I've been an avid fan for many years, much thanks to my dad. But underneath all the adrenaline, underneath all the drama, there lies a principle. A principle so brilliant that anyone watching the sport for the first time will question the very basis of it. I'll explain the principle. In a Grand Prix, which is a race in Formula One, 20 of the wisest drivers, they do something so counterintuitive in a race where their only objective is to win, to be on that top step of that podium. They stop, and that too on purpose. You see cars swarming in at 300 kilometers per hour, and they pull into the pit stop. Crew swarms in, tires off, tires on, check for damage, and out they go. 20 to 30 seconds lost, just like that. And I questioned it. I asked my dad, you know, why would they do this? Why would they willingly lose time? And my dad explained to me. He said, Beta, they're not doing this to lose the race. Why would they? Rather, they're doing this to win the race. I didn't understand it at that point. I didn't understand the depth of that sentence. I just scoffed it off. I said, yeah, sure. But as and when I watched more races, as I understood the sport, I asked myself, why don't we treat our lives the same way? Okay, let's step back from Formula One. I'll recapitulate on a personal experience. It was the middle of 10th grade. You know, 10th grade, quite a rough grade. I'm pretty sure all of you would agree. You have board exams, club activities, house activities, everything. And I remember particularly this one week, a week where I had 3 tests lined up, 2 journal submissions, I had a presentation on circles, which is a maths chapter. And I remember sitting in front of my laptop, making the presentation. I was choosing fonts, save the PPT, close it off. My mind was buzzing, but it was blank at the same time. My eyes were blinking, and they were staring at the bottom right corner of the screen, the clock. The time, 1:13 a.m. A minute after that, 1:14 a.m. The minute after that, 1:15 a.m. 10 minutes after that, 1:25 a.m. And I'm not telling you how time works. Hopefully, you all know how time works. What I mean to say is that for the next 20 minutes on end, that's all I did. I stared. I was empty. I had nothing inside. And at that moment, I realized that I had pushed myself so hard that I didn't find joy in the things which I love to do. I love learning, I love creating, I love researching. But at that point, I hated it. I despised every moment of it. And then I realized I wasn't in control of my race anymore. I was simply trying not to crash. You know, in school, we often glorify the grind. We adhere to the lies sold to us by hustle culture. We say things like, oh, I only slept 3 hours this week. Oh, I haven't taken a break in this week. But what we don't talk about is the cost. The anxiety, the exhaustion, the depression, the emptiness that engulfs your mind after you see that A+ on your mark sheet. And the sad truth is that we've glamorized hustle. We've made exhaustion feel like an achievement, like everyone here should yearn to be exhausted. They should be tired, because that's the only way you're productive. That's the only way you're making progress. You know, in Formula One, skipping a pit stop is so incredibly dangerous, because no matter if you're Lewis Hamilton, no matter if you're Isaac Hajar, a rookie driver, no matter how well you save your tires, they will wear out. Your engine will overheat. You will lose grip. May that be literally, or may that be mentally. And that is what burnout is. You know, it slowly creeps into your mind. It doesn't show up to your door one day, knocks at it, hi, I'm burnout, can I come in please? It doesn't work like that. It slowly engulfs your mind. And after that point, you can't escape it. But the truth is, the sad reality is that burnout, it can't be considered as a personal failure. Rather, it should be considered as the cost of a system which tells us to keep going even when we know we have to stop. And I recognize that. I understood. My teachers understood, my friends, my family, they all noticed. And I knew I had to do something about it. So I did. I made my own pit stops. You know, not big dramatic life overhauls. I didn't go from studying 7 hours a day to meditating 7 hours a day. That's unnecessary. Rather, I made small, mindful changes. A 10-minute walk without your phone, a day off without guilt, and most importantly, letting your body be. If you're tired, be tired. If you're exhausted, be exhausted. Don't try to combat it with fake positivity, with caffeine, with energy drinks. Just let it be. Now, some of you might be sitting in the audience, you might be wondering, what is this guy on about? You know, why is he speaking so much? And I don't even watch Formula One, so how does this resonate to me? Well, first of all, if you aren't into Formula One, I'd suggest you get into it. It's an absolutely incredible sport. And secondly, from one student to another, I can assure you that you are in a race. You are the Formula One driver of your own life. May that be for medals, for marks, for approval, for a future, in any perspective. And most of us, we don't even know where the finish line is. We don't know when we can stop and say, it's finally done. We don't. We just keep pushing. We keep racing. We keep speeding up. And we don't know when to stop. We forget why we started in the first place. So when life feels like it's speeding up, when everything around you says, go faster, do more, do this, do that, don't give up, I want you to remember one golden rule. And it's a rule followed by everyone in Formula One. The fastest drivers, the best strategists, the best engineers. And it's best said in a quote by the 7-time Formula One world champion, Michael Schumacher. I quote, "To finish first, you have to first finish." So go out there and take that break. Take a pit stop, rebuild, refuel, and come back even better. Thank you, and have a blessed day ahead.
Thank you, Agam, for your thoughtful insights and spirited delivery. You're truly steered toward a bright future. Can we have a huge round of applause for all the dedicated speakers who shared their real growth with us today? Now, as we come to a conclusion of this momentous event, we would like to take a moment to thank our esteemed Principal Sir, Mr. Neeraj Bhargava, whose guidance and unwavering support have been instrumental in making this event a resounding success. I now call upon our respected Principal Sir to leave our guests and audience with a few words of inspiration.
Good morning, everyone. I think almost 8 years that I started this TEDx talk in the school. That was the first time that happened in UAE. I was not aware about it because I just came from India with a lot of ideas and a lot of thoughts. But what a successful journey. My successful journey also shows that one of my tenure student, Shahana, is here. As a speaker, what more a school can expect? And then we have an old student, not my time, but of course another alumni, but speaking here with so much conviction. So this TEDx Youth, what we talk about is about voices, vision, and value. And I think today's all the 10 speakers only talked about that. Whether it was talking about career, whether talking about the struggle of life, whether talking about marks, whether talking about pit stop, because my time has come now for a pit stop because I'm going to retire. I think, thank you Agam for reminding me. But you see, what we at ADIS believe is a strong culture which says thoughtfulness over noise, courage over comfort. Very important. You need to leave your comfort zone, come out, and I'm sure you'll be successful. So thank you, the entire team, headed by the head boy, Nikit, and the head girl, Anna, for organizing, and the team for organizing it so beautifully. Last so many days they have been working on it, immaculately planned. I'm sure you can understand the way all the projections happen, the speakers, the lineup, everything. They only found, because I believe this TEDx is by the student, for the student, and of the student. They have to organize, this is another event where they learn how to do all these, what is required to hold an event. of course, the 5 external speakers, they are well trained, maybe, going through the life, have learned. But my 5 students, I think I need a big hand for them. What a confidence they showed. And I strongly believe ADIS students, at that last minute, they are the best. Whatever they go through. Very honestly, 3 days back, I really gave them, what are you doing? It's not up to the mark. But at the inside, I knew that last minute they will do it. And they did it. Thank you. Where are the 5 speakers? Well done. Really proud of you. So please continue with the good job, continue with the trend, continue with the tradition. As Deek in the morning was saying, there is an aura and a culture of a school that continues. And it's for us to continue that aura and that, what you have learned, it carries forward. So wherever you are, just shine. Because that is what makes us happy. The other day I met a student, he came to my office, he wanted a particular stream, and then all that happened. And then finally when he got it, he said, thank you, sir. I said, no. The thank you is when you do something great, you achieve what you wanted, that's the thank you for the school. We look for that. And during this whole thing, my girls' team, football team, was playing in Sharjah. Final. And they won. So you see, during this whole excitement of listening, there was another excitement that the girls have won football, which is again, yes. So thank you. God bless you all. Thank you. Hope you continue this ahead also.
Thank you, sir, for those words of wisdom and inspiration, encapsulating the spirit of the incredible gathering and motivating us as we move forward into the future. Now, I invite our principal, sir, along with all the other members, to felicitate our speakers of the day with mementos. Firstly, I call upon Sahana Praveen. Next, we have Kezia Liz. Next, we have Deek Parashini. Next, we have Shadia Siddiqui. And lastly, we have Daygrace Kabili. And now, felicitating our student speakers, we have Akash Balasubramanian. We have Shammas Abdul. Shriyukta Kamaram. Firdaus Jupa. And lastly, we have Agamjot Singh. Please give a huge round of applause for all our speakers for the day. Thank you. Now I invite Aman and Athira to propose the vote of thanks for the day.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good morning, everyone. Today, we have seen firsthand the power of education and public speaking, not just through books or classrooms, but through bold ideas, lived experiences, and the courage to share them. I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to our respected principal sir, vice principal sir, school coordinator ma'am, and the SLT members for their unwavering support and encouragement. Without you, this event would not have been possible. A special thanks to our esteemed guests and speakers who graciously shared their time, stories, and transformative ideas with us today. Your words have sparked thoughts and planted seeds that may one day grow into real change. Let us also take a moment to appreciate the true stars of the day, our student speakers and performers. You stepped onto this red dot with courage, clarity, and conviction, and you made us proud. A huge round of applause for your creativity, commitment, and confidence. We are equally grateful to the volunteers and the organizing team whose tireless work behind the scenes ensured everything ran smoothly. From logistics to hospitality, your dedication made this event seamless.
A sincere thank you to Anit sir and Kareem sir for your invaluable technical support. The lights, sound, and visuals were spot on. Your expertise truly brought this event to life. And to our teachers, thank you for mentoring, motivating, and believing in our students. Your guidance has helped shape them into the thoughtful individuals we saw on stage today. Special appreciation also goes to the housemasters, housemistresses, and the dedicated coaching and planning team for your behind-the-scenes leadership and mentorship. Lastly, a big shout out to the organizers for your vision, coordination, and flawless execution. You set a new benchmark with this TEDx event, and we are all proud to be a part of it. With that, we bring this extraordinary program to a close. To everyone here today, may the ideas you heard continue to inspire you to think deeply, act boldly, and speak fearlessly. Thank you once again.
Once again, we would like to thank everyone involved in the execution of this event. The speakers are requested to stay for the photo session. School disperse and please maintain silence.